We never ask our dancers to go door to door.
Local organizations typically do pizza fundraisers. Why one Johnstown group is saying not to fall victim to this scheme. Thunder in the Valley brings in some pretty big names for entertainment. We were there to meet one of the headliners tonight.
And it looks like a scattered shower and thunderstorm chance increasing as the humidity works back into the region. We'll check it out day by day coming up.
6 News 11 at 11. Coverage you can count on in high definition. Starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. West Hills Police Department warning about a local scheme happening in Johnstown and surrounding areas. Police say a man and a young girl have been going door to door soliciting money for a local dance studio, but that business says they don't do that. Jacqueline Kovac has more in this story.
I just feel this is so wrong, and especially asking a young child to participate in something like this.
A local business fallen victim to a recent scheme.
Well, several days ago I received a call from a woman who told me that someone had approached her about a fundraiser for the ballet company, and they were selling pizzas.
But the Johnstown Ballet Company doesn't do door-to-door fundraisers.
We don't ask our students to sell items. So this I knew immediately was a scam, that people were going around pretending to make money for the ballet when we don't do anything like that.
West Hills police are investigating the claims and are asking anyone who may have seen something or fallen victim to call them. Several reports say the schemer is using a young child and going around Johnstown City and suburban neighborhoods.
Absolutely. These women sounded like they really, truly wanted to help the ballet, and we're probably even people who have come to our performances.
Jacqueline Kovac, 6 News.
I was just amazed that I was able to get to this point where I was able to get off the ventilator and be breathing on my own and be stable enough to come home.
After months of rehab, Trooper Brad Wilson is finally one step closer to moving into his newly renovated house. Wilson was shot last fall while trying to serve Warren at a home in Brockway. He came back to DuBois Wednesday, where he'll be staying at a hotel until the wheelchair modifications to his home are ready in August. His return is just in time for a motorcycle ride to honor him, with more than 500 bikes riding through DuBois tomorrow.
The community loves Brad. They've come out in other benefits, and we just know that this one's going to turn out great.
It's amazing the support that the people have given for me, and I appreciate it very much.
It costs $10 per person to register for the ride. Registration will be at the Brockway Sons of Italy Club from 10 to 11:30. The ride will start from there.
Any of the shower activity that developed this afternoon has quickly dwindled at this hour to not much at all showing up on the satellite radar composite. Just generally partly cloudy skies out there at this point. Temperatures have been running fairly consistent with, well, generally around 70 degrees the last few hours, 70 to 75. A couple of high-level clouds drifting in from the northwest, but all in all, pretty quiet evening expected overnight as well. First part of tomorrow, and then a scattered shower chance will start to pop back up for Saturday afternoon, and then again a little more so later Sunday. Here's that latest temperature check now. Oh, we've got a few spots into the 60s. Sneaking in there, Butler and Punxsutawney, both at 68 degrees. Low 70s in Clearfield. Oh, they just dropped to 68 as well. See that? Look at that. Right on track with the numbers. Tomorrow morning, 62. We're looking at partly cloudy skies early, with an afternoon that yields a scattered shower or two, with temperatures once again around 80 degrees. Mel?
Josh, thanks. A part of Route 30 was closed for a short time this morning in Somerset County. 911 dispatchers tell us a coal truck and pickup truck collided just before 11 this morning at the intersection of Lincoln Highway and Penn Avenue just outside of Jennerstown. No one was hurt and there wasn't much to clean up from the coal. Police still investigating after a Falls Creek man's car was recovered in DuBois. Police say Ronald Schick's car was stolen from the front of his house sometime between 11 Tuesday night and 6 Wednesday morning. Police found the car in DuBois later Wednesday. If you have any information on the theft, you're asked to call state police in Jefferson County. A Windber man facing new charges tonight following the death of his daughter. Denver Blau was charged earlier this month for the death of his live-in girlfriend, Carissa Kowalczyk. Kowalczyk was pregnant with the couple's second child. That baby, Aubriana, had to be delivered via C-section and lived on life support for 20 days before passing away last week. Cambria County Chief Deputy Coroner Jeff Lee says her death was due to the death of her mother. Blau faces an additional count of criminal homicide and assault charges in the death of his daughter. Flames engulf a house during a morning fire in Somerset County. It happened on the 600 block of Pompey Hill Road in Quemahoning Township just after 8:30 this morning. County dispatchers say one person had to be taken to the hospital. That cause of the fire is still not known. A local park repeatedly vandalized, and now a group is trying to do something about it. People who live near Roxbury Park in Johnstown have seen the problem for years. Vandals breaking into locked buildings, destroying fences and sheds, even leaving feces on the playground. Now the Roxbury Civic Group is collecting money to install security cameras,
so that they can at least see, they can view a tape and see if they need to take action or whatever needs, and see who's doing this.
Mishler says police can't be patrolling the park all the time. If you have questions, you can call Nancy Mishler, and donations can be sent to the address on your screen. New at 11 tonight, one of the big headliners for Thunder in the Valley this weekend is Foghat. The concert began at 10 tonight. We caught up with some of the members of the band inside the Amtrak station downtown. Foghat is a British rock band popular in the 1970s, playing a mix of blues and rock. The band took the stage at People's Natural Gas Park tonight. A man who ran for Jefferson County Sheriff and lost the election is taking the current sheriff to court. He says the sheriff never took an oath he needed to in accordance with county code. Now he's taking him to court with hopes of taking over that position. Devin Clark has more.
There's a saying, I believe it's Edmund Burke, is that all that's needed for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
James Wicker ran against the current Jefferson County Sheriff in 2011. He lost the election for not having enough votes, but says the sheriff, who had been in office since 2008, should have lost for not following the county code when he first took office some 6 years ago.
They must take the state oath and the county oath.
And what have you found?
In 2008, I have one that Commissioner Gottwald took. This is the county oath.
So where's the other one?
Well, that's a good question.
We found 2 oaths for 2012 when the sheriff was elected to his second term. But Wicker says only one of those were there when he first went to the courthouse to get them.
Prothonotary didn't have this when I asked for his oath. And I asked for both oaths, and all I got was this one. And then after we filed the charges, then all of a sudden this one magically appears. Well, hey, you know, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night.
Wicker says there are other issues with that oath as well.
Sworn and subscribed before me this January 3rd day of 2012, and that's signed by the judge. Over here, Gottwald signed it in 2014. It seems to be a fabrication.
Wicker adds, even if it's not a fabrication, the oaths being signed late are also grounds for termination, as they're supposed to be signed and filed before beginning office.
Why wasn't it filed with the Prothonotary in 2012, like it's supposed to?
Wicker filed a suit against Sheriff Gottwald. He hopes the judge will remove Gottwald from office and allow him to take over the position. Devin Clark, 6 News.
I just opened the door, and then I saw the bear. He was sitting right over there, drinking out of the water. And I got really freaked out, and I ran back inside, screaming.
Can you believe that? A bear made its way into the garage of a Harris Township home Thursday. And this isn't the first time the family has been visited by a bear. Just last Sunday, another bear was around, scattering trash everywhere.
There was like 6 bags of trash just kind of lining the side of the house up back into the woods that we had to clean up.
The Game Commission has been notified, and officials say they're going to assess the situation this weekend to decide if the bear should be trapped. Officials in Harrisburg, along with healthcare giants Highmark and UPMC, have reached a limited agreement after months of negotiations. A contract between both sides ends at the beginning of next year. Governor Tom Corbett and Attorney General Kathleen Kane were on hand to announce the deal, which would allow enrollees who are in the middle of treatment to continue to use doctors and facilities at in-network basis. UPMC's rural and specialty hospitals, including UPMC Bedford and Altoona, will remain in the network. Police officers offering tips tonight for people who are pulled over while carrying a concealed weapon. 6 News reporter Aaron Calandra has the story.
Go ahead and open your door.
When a police officer makes a traffic stop, they never know what they're getting into. That's why some officers say if you're pulled over, it's best to put your hands on the steering wheel while they approach your window, especially if you have a permit to carry a gun and have one in the car.
You're just showing the officer in advance that you're trying to be courteous to the safety issue.
They say to be upfront about the weapon.
What we prefer is that when we come up to your car, approach you for a traffic stop, that when you hand us your driver's license, that you also hand us your gun permit. This way we'll know that you have a gun.
This driver's pulled over for running a stop sign. He isn't carrying a weapon and doesn't mind that the officer asked.
It really didn't bother me at all. I mean, I think it's a pretty good idea, to be honest with you. I mean, it's his right to know, and just because you have a permit to carry, you should still.
Some states require drivers to hand their permits over with their driver's license. Pennsylvania isn't one of them, but officers say it's the right thing to do.
You treat people how you want to be treated, and obviously as a police officer that's a safety issue, and that makes us feel much better. We also know that someone's trying to be honest and sincere, so there isn't any problems.
In Spring Township, Aaron Calandra, 6 News.
A judge saying no to a woman's request for more time before her trial after a cover-up of her alleged affair. And the 4th of July is a week away. How your celebrations might be hitting you in the wallet. And one of the best highlights you will ever see happen in tonight's Pirates game. Find out why this wasn't even his best play later in sports.
This is 6 News 11 at 11. Coverage you can count on.
A judge is saying no to a request from a former domestic violence counselor, Cindy Brumbaugh of Center County, for more time before her trial. Brumbaugh is accused of telling police she was sexually assaulted by a client to cover up an affair she was allegedly having with the client. Brumbaugh originally pleaded no contest to the charges, but then withdrew her plea, claiming she never admitted to police that she had made up the story. She's due to go to trial next month. More on a story we brought you last week. Brittany Russell was born with a form of dwarfism. She wants to bring awareness to limb lengthening surgeries. Now an organization, Be Brave for Limb Lengthening, is holding a fundraiser. The basket raffle will be held tomorrow from noon to 3 at the Young People's Community Center in Evansburg. Proceeds go to help people who need limb lengthening surgeries. Well, if you're a comic book enthusiast, listen up. The Sci-Fi Valley Con is making a return to Altoona this weekend. The 3rd annual convention will take place at the Jaffa Shrine Center and will last through June 29th. More than 2,000 fans attended last year's show. Between now and next Friday, you'll probably go to the grocery store to stock up for your 4th of July celebrations. Just be prepared for a bit of a sticker shock, which is why some shopping experts have been busy with ways to keep celebration costs down. Details tonight from Chris Clackham.
The trip down the grocery aisle for this July 4th will be a pricey one. Beef for burgers is up 14% over last year. A slice of cheese will cost you 11% more. A tomato, 12% more. It's why shopping experts have come up with ways to get frugal with the food for the 4th.
The smartest strategy for your 4th of July party, barbecue, is to think about your menu and build it around the sales that are happening.
Terry Galt, founder and CEO of thegrocerygame.com, says check the newspaper circulars and, for example, choose chicken instead of cheeseburgers, or go with corn on the cob, which is cheaper than chips. She also points out grocery stores generally offer their best bargains around the 4th, so stock up.
The condiments, mayonnaise, mustard, barbecue sauce, marinade, all of these things are going to be the cheapest of the whole year until Labor Day, that is. And they have a long shelf life, up to a year.
She expects competition among grocery stores to really heat up by Tuesday.
The supermarkets view this as a time to sort of court you. A lot of people go grocery shopping who never did before just because it's a holiday.
A holiday where food is again a main attraction, provided you can afford it. Chris Clackham, NBC News.
And we have the 4th of July on our 7-day forecast. We'll let you know what the early outlook holds coming up.